Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. It is Wake Up Wednesday. We invite you into this space and we invite you to do just that. Wake up. Wake up physically, wake up mentally, wake up emotionally. Bring all of you to this present moment ready to focus and receive whatever will be said that was meant directly for you. We are here to share our thoughts on the topic of Wake Up Wednesday. And as we mentioned yesterday, the theme for the week is intentionality through is mastery. So today is Wake Up Wednesday. Master your day with intentionality. We know that we talk about the importance and the power of being intentional every Wednesday. So we're going to look at that through the lens of mastering you, mastering your day, mastering whatever it is that comes into your space. Because with intentionality, you have the right focus on everything that it is that you want to accomplish. You're clear about your goals, you're clear about you and how you want to show up, and then you get busy building the plan to make that focus, that intentionality come to be. So I am excited about today's topic. We want to master our day. We understand that each and every day is a gift. Every moment of every day is a gift. It is a gift that not everyone was able to open today. It's a gift that some people won't be able to open later on today. But with the time that we have, we don't want to squander any of it. We want to make sure that we're intentional, that we're aware, and that we are living a life that is well lived according to our vertical connection, our connection with our higher being and the purpose that we were created. And then in connection internally with us, when you know what your purpose is, when you know what you've been created to do, I believe that for this season in my life, this is exactly what I'm designed to do in different forms. Is it the morning show? Is it a newsletter? Is it a public speaking opportunity? Is it the vision board party? Is it the book? Yes to all of that, because every one of those things is my purpose being, kind of mixed and matched and delivered in a different format. But it's the same purpose. And for me, that purpose is taking the experiences and the triumphs, the trials, everything that I've been through and distilling that down into the conversations that we have every day. Not because it's time to talk about me. I'm not important in the conversation. It's not that. But I believe that the things that I went through and the way that I've been able to come out on the other side can encourage somebody else. So when I look at my reflection in the mirror, I see an encourager. When I look at my reflection in the mirror, I see a motivator. When I look at my reflection in the mirror, I see someone who's intentional about taking her life and using it to help somebody else. That's not a bad person, right? It's like, okay, I kind of like me. Before, when I looked in the mirror, I saw everything that I thought was wrong with me. When I listened to the thoughts that were going through my head, they were fear based, they were trauma based, they were telling me the things that I couldn't do, the things that I shouldn't do. And because I heard that voice and was directed by that voice for so long, I became really intentional about getting it under control, really intentional about doing the work that I needed to do so that I could like the reflection in the mirror. It didn't matter how much other people liked me. It did matter how much they didn't. Anybody who didn't like me, anyone who had something negative to say, that fed that negative voice that was already playing in my head. So that was heavy. So I spent so much time trying to change their mind, trying to convince them that I was okay, going above and beyond and doing things that sometimes were detrimental to me because I cared less about myself than I did about the people who came in and out of my life, regardless of what their motives were. But through intentionality, I was able to arrest those thoughts that were leading me down dangerous paths. I was able to look at the reflection in the mirror and see someone of value, see someone who deserved to be here, see someone who deserved to have a good life, instead of being almost embarrassed by success, downplaying everything, making myself small because I was so concerned about making everyone else in my life comfortable. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but I have to live the true version of who I am. Intentionally, I want to show up as who I am. And in doing so, the people who I'm drawn to are the people who really want to be friends, to be family, to be in connection. And the people that I repel are the people who shouldn't be in my life anyway. If I put on a facade and I show up as a fake version of myself to make that crowd like me, I end up around a crowd that I have to be fake and phony and work hard to stay in their good graces all the time. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting, and there's no reward in it. None whatsoever. You give and you give and you shrink and you shrink, and they keep taking and taking and pushing you down, and I'm fighting to be in that space. Why? Because I hadn't done the work. I hadn't tapped into the voice within. I hadn't given myself the opportunity to undo and unshackle myself from any trauma, from any negative messaging that I'd picked up along the way. Once I did that work, all of a sudden I could see myself. Have y'all ever heard that song? I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. That's what it was like. All of a sudden, the rain stopped. My lens cleared, and I was able to see myself, my world, my possibilities. I could see my real network, my real family. I have a lot of people who are family that we share absolutely no DNA. And then I have some people who I share a lot of DNA with that we really can't share space, because real family, real friendship, real community is reciprocal, supporting, loving, uplifting, right? Sometimes it's chastising, sometimes it's disciplining, right? Because it wants to see you at your best. And when I found what that felt like and found what it was like to be in real relationship, that's all I wanted. Those other relationships all of a sudden weren't quite as important because I saw them for what they were. For the first time, I realized I was putting all of my energy, all of my focus, all of my intention into spaces that didn't even mean me well, didn't even really care for me. And I don't have any real negative feelings about those spaces, those people, those experiences. They all taught me, right? Every experience that we have teaches what to do or what not to do. We just have to be really, really intentional about picking up those lessons and incorporating them into our lives so that we're not like that rat on a wheel, just running, 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 going in circles, getting nowhere fast. All of us are busy. All of us are working hard. We're grinding. We're doing stuff. We're busy. But I'll ask you the question that I've asked you many times. Are you productive? Two different things. It takes intentionality to be busy, to be productive. Anybody can be busy. You could do the wrong thing all day long and get results that you absolutely don't want and never tap in and take a look at what's really happening. But when you're intentional, you're clear about where you want to go. When you're intentional, you're clear about the actions you're taking and whether or not they're going to get you where you want to go. And you're constantly assessing yourself, your experiences, your environment, and you're determining what stays and what needs to go. What's uplifting you and what's holding you down. What's moving you towards your goals and what's keeping you from your goals. When you look at your life that way, you are intentional at the highest level. And the decisions that you make, you're intentional about those decisions. So by default, they're going to move you forward. You're tapped in. The brain is on, the emotions are keen, and the actions and the activities all align to get you from where you are to where it is you would like to be. That's how powerful intentionality is. It's the difference. Let me actually pull up the quote, and I see quite a few comments have come in. So I'm going to acknowledge those and say hello to everyone in just a moment. The difference between an amateur and a master, which is what we're talking about today and all week, mastery. How do I master me? As my sister Tiffany said yesterday, how do I master the life that I'm living? How do I get real intentional and make sure that I'm moving from amateur to mastery? The difference between an amateur and a master is in their mindset and in their approach. The mindset and the approach. What you think and how you do. Those are the differences between an amateur and a master. A master is going to show up and say, I'm capable, I'm deserving, I'm committed, I'm going to get it done. And then they're going to make all of that reality. Roll up the sleeves, get to work. First I do the mental work and I gain that clarity, right? Then I do the planning and say how I'm going to go about doing that thing. And then, and only then, I get busy and take on those tasks and one at a time start to knock them out. Because if we haven't tapped in intentionally, when we don't know where we're going and we don't know what it is we're trying to do, we spend a lot of time doing a bunch of stuff that's much ado about nothing. From sun up to sundown, there are things that I could be doing. But within those things are the things that I should be doing to accomplish the goals that I have for myself. So I have to weed out the could so that I can focus on the should. And then I prioritize my list, right? To make sure that I'm doing the most impactful, the most important things first. And in doing that, I'm accelerating my process. I'm getting closer and closer to my goals every day. And I tell you, when you are operating in your purpose, it doesn't even matter that when you have a bad day, the right person is going to show up, the right message is going to find you, and you're going to get exactly what you need to keep moving forward. Twice yesterday, one time in a virtual meeting and one time in a message, I had two people within a couple of hours of each other reach out to me and say that what I was doing really mattered, that it was making a difference in their lives, and they just wanted me to know that it was having an impact. Little did they know, in that moment, I was questioning some things. It's like, all right, prioritizing. There's so much going on in my life. I'm so busy. I have to travel next week. I'm thinking about all the things that I need to do. It's summertime, so I want to spend as much time possible with the family and do some fun stuff with those grandbabies that I adore so much. What am I doing? Is it the right stuff to do? Where do I cut back? All those things playing in my head. And when we are in those assessing spaces, which is such an important place to be, but if we're not careful in those times, that's when the doubt will start to creep in. Maybe I'm just spinning my wheels. Maybe I'm just like that rat on the wheel and I should slow down. I should do less. Do people really care? I can name a handful, and I know some folks that I really believe I'm being impactful, but they have direct access to me now. So do I really need to do all the things that I'm doing, or do I just spend some time with them on some sort of a regular basis? I'm thinking, what's the best use of my time in this season of my life? How should I be showing up? And then a couple of people that were not those folks that I was thinking about showed up and told me that I was impactful, told me that they needed what they were getting and they were grateful for it. And I was like, okay, God, message received. I'll keep moving forward. I'll keep moving forward. I did my assessment. I almost leaned into some self-doubt, and you stopped it right in its flow. You gave me the messages that I needed to have the encouragement to keep moving forward. And I say this in all sincerity. I'm not special. I am. I love that girl in the mirror, but I'm not special. The things that happen to me and how they happen to me, the way that I'm able to move through the self-doubt and the things that come up, in that regard, I'm not special. Every one of us has those same abilities, but we have to focus, we have to be intentional, we have to be willing to do the work. I believe that many of you are extremely intentional. You keep showing up, you keep asking for more, you keep tapping in, you share what's happening with you, looking for resources and improving your skills so that you can continue to move towards your goals. That's all intentionality at its finest. And if you actually take the next step and show up and implement the things that you're talking about, you're well on your way. And that's why we're here. That's why we're building this community. So you do have a place to plug in. You have a place to tap into and set aside that time to really think about who you are and who you want to be, where you are and where you'd like to be. And get super intentional about that and make sure that the things that you're doing are consistently measured against that. Here I stand, but over there is where I'd like to be. What's my route to get from here to there? Are the decisions that I'm making, the activities that I'm doing, the things that I'm saying, and how I'm saying them, are they going to move me from here to there? You can simply ask yourself that question many times a day as all these different opportunities show up for you to get involved in this, that, or the other, for you to have this conversation versus that conversation, for you to go to this place versus that. All you have to do is ask yourself, which one is going to move me towards my goals? Which one is going to help me accomplish the things that I've set forth in my life? Which ones are going to raise me up and help me become a better version of myself, right? We never arrive at that best version. We're always striving for better. What can I do? What are the things that I can be involved in? That's going to take me there. And the things on your list that don't take you there shouldn't be on the list. We drop those off and we refocus and we get intentional about the things that will. That's the difference between an amateur and a master, their mindset and their approach. So let me take a pause and look at all these messages. They're in double digits now, so it might take me a moment to recognize them all. But I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I am scrolling backward. I see my auntie Karen. Hello, beautiful. Let's see, Lisa, first one up. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I got the notification on time for once, Cassandra. LOL. Thank goodness for good notifications. I am so glad that you are here, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you would like to share with us, Lisa, as our time together unfolds. Kelly, welcome back. Kelly says, good morning. Grand risings to you, Kelly. Hoping that your day is off to a beautiful start and you continue to strive and get stronger and do the things and take care of Kelly in a way that's going to allow you to continue to not only return to your best health, but to surpass what you even think of as your best health. That you're stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally than you've ever been, day by day, step by step. Kim says, enjoy your Wednesday all. Same to you, my friend. Karen, my beautiful aunt, says, good morning. Hey, Auntie. Tiffany Gary Liddell says, hey, happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to you. Tiffany, are you in Texas? It's those Texas folks and those folks from the South that really, really know what Juneteenth is all about. So I am excited to see and honor another Juneteenth and have somebody here who knows what that is all about. And Tiffany, I just want to say, I actually spent some time with your page yesterday because I noticed how often you share or engage with what's going on here. You share quite regularly, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know who Tiffany is, but I certainly appreciate her because I see you sharing and engaging. And so I'm glad to have the opportunity to personally thank you and to welcome you into this space. And please feel free to comment, continue to share, and it'll help us get to know you even better. And any questions you have or comments, just drop them. And as I see them, we will respond. Lisa said, agreed 100%. I still struggle with that people pleasing mentality. It's a tough one. And some folks, the positive side of the people pleasing mentality is that we have a servant mentality. We want to take care of people. We want to show up and be a blessing, right? And what I want us to realize is that every trait has a positive and a negative. So, as a people pleaser, there's a lot of positives. You're focused on others. You want to be helpful. You want to take care. It's not a negative until you go too far and you slip from that a nice centered place where you're taking care of you as well as through your abundance, through your extra, through what abilities you have, you're also helping others. When you forget about you and you sacrifice to the place of hurt, it be it physical, mental, or any type of hurt, where you're doing things that you don't really want to do, that don't really align with your core values, where you're forsaking yourself and your home and the things that you need to do and just kind of mindlessly taking care of others, that's when it becomes an issue. So being a people pleaser to a certain extent is okay because it could just be how you're wired, and you've got that focus and that instinct to take care of others. But if you're doing it to the sacrifice of self and the things that you need to take care of, that's when we really slide over, and when we find ourselves not being true to who we really are. We're not being authentic with ourselves. We're doing things that we really don't want to, we really don't believe in. Now we've slipped over into that real people pleasing state, and it's time to rebalance and pull some of that back and get back to your authentic self. Kelly says, I mean to tell you about how I felt about when I was outside. I didn't like the way people were looking at me like I was a cripple. I felt some kind of way. I was telling my daughter about it, and she told me, don't give up. People are going to look. It's true. And people are, we just rubberneck anything that we see that could be in any way a little bit different than what our normal flow is, what we expect to see. It grabs our attention, and sometimes the person on the other end just does not know what to do or how to do. And so make sure, Kelly, that that you are not feeling some of those things yourself and transposing those thoughts onto those folks that are passing by. Sometimes our inner voice we project onto other people. But at the end of the day, and the only voice that really matters, the only look that really matters is yours. So how you feel about you and being able to see yourself progress, you want to focus on that. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. What other people think about us really in any of our business. And so put those folks and those looks into that category. Give a little grace and space and know that you're uncomfortable as you're trying to build up that strength and find your way back to where you were. Sometimes you're going to have some negative thoughts of your own. And as those thoughts come up, all you need is somebody to walk by and look, and that your thought feels like theirs. They may not be thinking anything at all. They may not even really see you, but things get blown up in our minds when we're working as hard as you're working to find your way back. So don't let it be a distraction, whether or not they really are looky loos or not. They are insignificant. They don't allow that to steal away the joy from the progress that you're making. So keep your focus on your success and what really matters, and the right people will show up to support you as you continue to move forward. And I'll tell you guys a really transparent story that every time I think about it, and it's been years, over 10 years. I was downtown Austin one day. I used to work down there many, many years ago, and it was probably then. And a man was walking across the street. I could tell from looking at him. He actually had a really, really exaggerated limp. So there's something had happened either with his hips or his legs or something. It could have even been the way he was born, but walking was a struggle. And I was working so hard not to look at him for that very reason. I didn't want him to feel like I was staring at him. I didn't want him to feel like I thought there was anything wrong with him. So I had this whole thing going on in my head. And out of the corner of my eye, I kind of saw the man fall. And on the inside, I froze. I didn't run to his care. I saw him struggling. He got up, and then he kept walking. And when he got close to me, he was like, "Girl, you saw me fall. Why didn't you come help me?" And I wanted to pretend like I didn't. And I said, "Well, I didn't know if you wanted my help." I grew up with a young lady. I mean, super young. When we were in like sixth grade, she passed away. She had bone cancer, and eventually she lost both legs to the disease. And I just remember how she would get so upset if anybody babied her or tried to give her extra help and all that. She just wanted to be treated like everybody else. So her strength and her desire in those moments have stuck with me my entire life. So a lot of times when I see somebody struggling, I kind of get a flashback to that. I don't want to go and intrude in their space and make them feel like I think they're not capable or whatever. So so my instant response of going and being helpful has been shut down by, do they want to help, or if I am I imposing, am I going to make them feel some type of way, am I going to embarrass them, are they going to curse me out and say I got this, that kind of stuff. So all that's playing in my head instead of just being helpful. And I say all that to say, Kelly, you just never know what's really happening in the heads of someone else, what those looks really mean, if they mean anything at all. But we make up a story in our heads immediately. I had a whole one act play playing in my head when I should have just went out and asked him if I could help him. And he had the best personality, one of the most upbeat people, and he was just laughing and he was just poking at me. I think he saw my uneasiness, and he said, "Girl, you saw me fall. Why didn't you come give me some help?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, I just didn't know." And he was like, "Yeah, you could have gave me some help. It would have been okay." And he walked with me for a little bit, and we talked, and then I went my way, and he went his. And I've never forgotten that guy. Couldn't tell you his name or anything else about him to save my life, but his persona and his joy and his poking fun at me relieved me in that moment when he was the one who physically needed some help. I was in an emotional tailspin trying to figure out what to do, and he just made all of that vanish, and it was just a human to human experience that turned out to be really, really nice. But it also freed me, or it showed me the thought pattern that I have when something like that happens. And so now I'm able to push past the thoughts and just do what needs to be done in that moment, because when I'm thinking about all of that, I'm really more thinking about me than I am about the individual and what they may need. And that experience all those years ago highlighted that for me. And so now I can be more present and be more helpful and not be so concerned about what the outcome may be if the person on the other end doesn't want my help. If they don't want my help, I can just say, "Okay, no problem," and just move on. But instead, I made this whole thing happening in my head. So it happens to the best of us. It happens all the time. So say all of that to say, just keep loving on you, Kelly. Stay focused on your progress, and everything else will be what it's going to be. Don't even allow those things to distract you. Um, Kim says, so true Intention over reaction. We got this. Kelly also says happy Juneteenth. Conchita says greetings, everyone. Another amazing day on this wonderful Wednesday. Absolutely. Conchita says point to remember, weed out the could in order to focus on the should. Thanks for that, Jim, Cassandra. You are so welcome. Thank the man upstairs. Before we began, the prayer is get rid of me and all my thoughts that are raging in my head and give me the right thing to say to reach your people. It's that simple. That's the overarching mission. Anthony Mitchell says, you speak with so much reverence, and I love it. Well, thank you, Anthony. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Welcome to this space. We hope that you continue to show up and would love to hear your thoughts on intentionality, on mastering your day, or anything else that you would like to share. Kelly, I see you are tagging other folks and inviting them in, and I am so grateful for that. And the same to each of you. Share the room, share this space, either now or afterwards, because everything's recorded on all the different socials. So wherever you're connecting with us, share it with someone else so we can continue to grow this space. And I appreciate you guys doing so. Conchita says, the SOAR Collective has really served as a lifeline for me on many days. You always provide a quote that sheds light and more positivity. Thank you, Conchita. Those quotes, I was actually up late last night getting the next batch ready to make sure that they don't run out. And every day you guys have something positive to ruminate on, to I'm still in Jay's word, to ruminate on and get your day going. Tiffany is from Mississippi. The sip is in the house. Welcome, Tiffany. Kelly says, yes, ma'am, because it's very challenging being in the house every day. It messes with my mental health. I got to be strong. You are strong. Just the fact that you've come through what you've come through, just the fact that you're showing up, you don't have to be strong because you are already strong, and you're going to keep building on that strength so that you continue to progress. And we're going to be here virtually supporting you in any way that we can. Tiffany says, you are such an inspiration. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Valerie says, glad to be here. Hello, everyone in Chicago. So glad that you are here with us. And I'm glad to see your face because right after this, Valerie, I will be starting up my workday and I owe you something. So I will look for the link and get that to you. So I'm glad you're here to give me that reminder. Kelly says that's um, how my kids call me Ms. Independent. I love that. Victor says, hello, everyone. Happy to be here. I'm Victor, listening from, I'm probably going to say the first Doha, Qatar. Welcome, Victor. We are so happy to have you with us. Alicia says, good morning, everyone. That's one of my baby sisters. Hey, girl. Good morning. And Victor says, sending positive energy to you all. Thank you, Victor. And we are reflecting that right back to you. Valerie says, amen to the prayer. Man, they're coming faster than I can keep up. Kelly says, thank you so much. Let's see. Anthony says, yes, when the time permits, I would love to share my story and how God has really guided my life through the challenges and achievements. And yes, I got to tell it. Tell your story. Not only did he get you through it so that he could show you his power and how special you are in his kingdom, but he also got you through it so that you can tell it and encourage somebody else. So thank you for that, Anthony. Looking forward to learning more about your story. Kelly says, you in Chicago? Because I'm in Chicago. So Kelly, Valerie, Kelly, two Chi-Town folks with us this morning. And Alicia says, hey, girl. All right, let's see who. Tammy Snyder Mason, my dear friend, is on as well. Leah Garcia, I see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kimberly Terry, another hometown girl. The Ville is representing this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I love you, Karen. I'm glad to see you here. Let's see. I think I've gotten to everybody. And Denise, I am okay. A couple of more people. Goodness. Sonia, welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you there. And May underscore V underscore AJ has joined. Welcome, May. I think this is the first time I've seen you with us. Glad to have you. You guys continue to share the room so we can continue to see and reach more and more people. We are going to shake the negativity of this world by its roots. How? Light overcomes darkness every single time. And we choose to be that light. You choose to be that light. And whatever darkness that's trying to creep in will be overcome because, just like we said yesterday, we are not matching energy, we are creating energy. We are going to take that negativity and raise it to a place or run it right on out of here. There's no room for it. We don't appreciate it. We don't allow it. And our light will subdue it every single time. Leah says, Happy Wake Up Wednesday, champions, celebrating Juneteenth. Absolutely. And Valerie says, Awesome. Chi-Town in the house. Hi, Kelly. Denise, I have been talking forever. So I would love to hear what you have to share with us. So please unmute and drop your wisdom. And then Brian will go to you, and then we'll wrap up with the actionable steps for today. So over to you, Denise.
Good morning and grand rising from Grenada.
Grand Rising.
So many gems have been shared. Welcome to the new people that are just joining us. I want to share first that just for anybody who doesn't know, you guys know, the regulars know, I'm in Grenada, an island in the Caribbean. I'm in St. George. I'm facilitating the AI Youth Summit, and we've had a 3-week program. This is my third time teaching over here since October last year. So, little backstory so it makes sense what I'm about to say. So we've had this 3-week program, and we're done this Friday. We're about to conclude. And so, that's great. And get to be here another couple of weeks and just sort of enjoy myself instead of working every day. The first half of the program that started, 3 weeks ago was AM sessions. So we started at 8:30 in the morning and we ended at 2. And that ended like last Tuesday, and we're completing the PM sessions, which start at 3 and end at 7 p.m. And that was to accommodate teachers and other people that wanted to come who were working during the day. It's
Right.
proven to be a successful approach because people feel very accommodated, and they've shared that. They appreciate it. So after the first sessions, a QR code was provided to the attendees so that they could give feedback. And as I always do, anytime you're at an event, if you've been an attendee, they give you something to fill out. They want to know how
Mhm.
you liked it, which sessions you enjoyed. Did you feel like the facilitators did what they came to do? Did you learn anything? And we do that. I tend to look at them at the end. Right at the end, I look at them. I email people. I thank them for their feedback, that kind of thing. So, but the people paying the bill, the people writing the checks for this whole thing, the people paying me wanted to do a midway review. So
Okay.
we took time out the very first day of the PM sessions, which was last Wednesday, and we were in a meeting with 4 people, 2 from the Minister of Youth who hired us, myself and another facilitator. And I have to tell you, I was not happy with what they shared. It sounded like the people weren't receiving the information. They weren't feeling like the facilitators understood the island, which, as you know, Cassandra, I've really made it a point to dig in and make
Mhm.
this content, this curriculum relevant to the people here so they can benefit in entrepreneurship, so they can benefit in leadership. This is a training, leadership, and summit teaching people how to use AI to change their lives, right? I've made it very relevant, which is why I stayed on the island so long. So, needless to say, y'all, I was really disappointed um, in what I heard. I was kind of discouraged, but I still had to shake it off. And I
Mhm.
told myself, I'm not going to go read those myself. They sent us the entire spreadsheet with all of the feedback. I said, I'm not going to go read it because I already know myself. The former people pleaser, we mentioned that, wants everyone to like her, in real life and in real time and in real space, though, with other real people. We know that we know that we know everyone is not going to like you. Everyone is not going to appreciate your style. And I know I come in hot, and I'm kind of tall, and I know that I come in to what some people it might not work with their style. We're all different. Some of us come in one way, some of us come in the other. Teaching styles don't necessarily match everyone. So I give you guys that background to tell you this. I decided the other day, I'm going to read those evaluations. I don't know why. I didn't want to wait to the end. I sit here, I open up my computer. Now, the other day is just yesterday. Keep in mind, we're finishing on Friday because I really am feeling that these people are receiving the information, the positive feedback I'm getting, the responses. You can tell when a room is real quiet and they don't respond versus when people raise their hand, ask questions, come up to you afterwards. I had a lady stop me last night as I was getting in my taxi to come back to my little apartment. I stop me and say, can we meet tomorrow? Because I go in early every day for the students just to do one-on-ones. And there's always students there.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, I'm gonna read these evaluations myself and see what did they say, because I'm getting such positive feedback in person. I opened those evaluations yesterday. There were only the highest score could be 5. Out of all of the evaluations, which was almost 50, there were only 2 ones. And
Okay.
one of the people said they just didn't understand. Like, I have been told I talk fast. I am in another country. There are strong accents. So I get it. One person said, like the facilitators are talking too fast. I was like, that's fair. That's fair. I still got to work on that. Almost all 4s and 5s. So I'm thinking to myself, when you guys gave the feedback, you focused on the one that said maybe this information couldn't be used. What's the percentage on that? That's
Right.
not even 10%. So I say all that to say, I didn't look at the overall scores with my own eyes, and I should have, because what they chose to focus on was very discouraging, right? And not everyone is going to necessarily look from that positive place of, hey, this was 90% positive. Only 1 or 2 people didn't resonate with the information, but their overall scores and like what they liked about a lot of the workshops was really great. It's just their overall score was really low. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it, and I talked to the other facilitator, and she said, no, I didn't look at it either. Oh, I didn't know that. I said, but we redirected the curriculum based on 2 scores, which now when you look at what you're doing, you have to have that level of confidence in yourself to handle both negative and positive information so that you can still proceed, so you can still move forward, so you can still be intentional in what your plan is anyway. So the lesson for me was, one, I probably should grow up a little bit. Go ahead and read those, because it affects it affects what I would have put out. It would have affected things a little bit differently. I wouldn't have been so discouraged. And I would have been able to encourage the other facilitator to not adjust so much based on 1 or 2 things. But what I did want to say also, there was some very, very negative energy before we even got the the feedback. Had nothing to do with that. Just negative energy, just some of those people that are like, that they're coming from the glass is half empty place. And we say in our space, it's full, we're the light. We're not going to allow anyone to set our energy. We're setting our own energy. Something I learned only this quarter from you. I never thought about energy. So I called, one of my aces in the hole just to discuss it and talk about it. This is when I was still feeling kind of emotional about it. Like, wow, we really redirected something, and I don't necessarily feel that we should have. And it's okay. It's like, I'm a part of a team. I'm not necessarily the leader. You have to be a part of a team and go with the vote, so to speak, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to my daughter, and I was sharing it with her. And we all have those people that'll go to bat for us and tell us right from wrong. And sometimes they'll support you even in your wrongness. They'll be like, who do I need to beat up, right? So I was talking to her, and she was like, you need to talk to them about that. You need to tell them, and da da da, and that wasn't right. And she was feeling like it was a negative thing. And I remember, and I heard myself telling her, and I was like, listen, girl. And I heard myself telling her this, and this is where I knew I had my own personal growth. And I said, I do not follow other people's energy anymore. I did not do all this work this year. I did not stay up late and get up early and put all this effort into my program to let one thing change my direction and change my intention to help people here and to change lives, or to help them get some skills that could change their lives. And I heard myself telling her, and I thought about it this morning. That's how I was telling her last night, I set energy. I don't bend left, lean right, stoop low, or sway to their energy. I set the energy, and that's how I move. So now, if I want to have somebody that's, if I really want to like have somebody tap into my growth or learn from me, I have to remember energy is affecting overall energy, people in general, and just keep it positive and keep it light, and remember all the work that I've done doesn't go out the door just because one situation doesn't agree with me. All that, let's say, 5 level work. You want to get the people pleaser wants to get all fives. But I should be paying attention. What happened to those 2 people that felt the one? And I should be willing to look in the mirror and make an adjustment to benefit them if they weren't happy. It doesn't matter that it was only 2. I shouldn't pump out my chest and 90% were happy. That's not what it's about. It's about really doing my best, remembering my walk, and not having anybody affect that level of energy that I'm trying to deliver. First, the energy, but second, whatever project or situation, or a lot of people are doing their business, and sometimes things just don't necessarily look the way you want it to look. It doesn't affect it. Just pivot, do what you have to do, make an improvement. And then sometimes you have to stand firm and keep it as it is and just deliver it better. It was really the one, like I said, talking too fast. It has nothing to do with the curriculum. It has everything to do with delivery. Know when to pivot and when not, and know when someone else's energy is just, it's different than yours, and you keep, like, you stay in your, on your path. You don't let anybody make that adjustment for you. I
Yep.
hope that made sense. I was a little bit all over the place this morning. I got so much from you this morning. It sort of threw me off a little bit. I had so many ways I could have went. You really touched on a lot of gems. And as usual, I'm blessed to be here, blessed to be able to share, and just really feel like I'm a part of a space that pours so much into my life that I can give something back. I appreciate you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful Wake Up Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Denise. Wake Up Wednesday is Denise Day, isn't it? This is your day, right? Yeah. Wake Up
Girl, this is
Wednesday.
my favorite day. I feel like I'm waking up every year. I'm waking up to something new and growing. That lifelong learner thing is real. So
It's
it is
real.
my favorite day. Um, and I just pray to keep doing it until I'm not here anymore.
Well, so grateful that you are here and that you continue to share and that you've decided to take this season of your life and give so much back to people abroad, and have so many new experiences for yourself. You're building community and family in a whole nother part of the world because you decided to, because you were intentional about following a dream. And that is amazing. Let's see. I had a couple folks jump in. Hello, Bridget. Welcome, my beautiful niece. I'm glad to see you here. I saw Jackie for the Jackie. I don't know if our schedules have aligned and you have ever been able to be here with us, but so glad that you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lisa said, "Gosh, yes, Denise. A lot of times when foreigners come into the Caribbean, the experience is negative, especially in the smaller islands. So people come into training sessions expecting the worst." That's an interesting, that is a very interesting point of view. I don't know who this is. So after I read your comment, you're showing up as LinkedIn user. Please drop your name so that we can properly greet you as well. LinkedIn user says, "Thanks for sharing. However, this is not a true reflection of Grenadians. I'm a Grenadian and we are loving and embracing people. I haven't lived there in many years, but I go back all the time, and my family lives there. Again, this is coming off as if it's a reflection of Grenadians. This can happen anywhere. I get the same thing also living in the U.S. Denise,
May I respond to that?
yes, I
Because
was going to say, please do.
yeah, oh, definitely. And I'm going to go back and listen. I appreciate that comment from the person and from Lisa as well. So I'm going to go back and listen to what I said this morning because I did not at all say anything negative. I love Grenadians and I love where I'm at. And I have, Cassandra, you know, the way I talk about this place, I don't want to go home because
Yeah.
the people are so welcoming. Also, too, most of my experience, that's why I said I went back to read those reviews because my experience has been so positive and people are so forthcoming with suggestions and ideas. And that's why we were able to perfect this curriculum for this island. Because when I came in October, I had so much feedback. They said, okay, so we have trouble with that particular payment system, but we can get PayPal. And they were giving me suggestions because one of my workshops teaches people how to make money online, and they
Mhm.
were the ones who suggested what would work and what wouldn't. So if anything I said makes it sound like this has been anything other than a positive experience, absolutely not. It has not been. What I was referring to as negative is that there are 2 1s on the feedback. You're not going to always get 5s, not in life at all. There's some days where you're just going to be a 1 because you got a bad attitude. You having a bad day. I was saying that the people who gave the feedback, when they were giving it verbally and I was not looking at them at the feedback itself, I didn't look at the pages that they shared in an email, I was just listening. They chose to focus there and say, let's make sure we try to, you know, encourage everybody, speak toward everybody, but I didn't know it was only 2. And they're saying it doesn't matter. Let's make sure everybody is happy. And I was like, I should have read myself. The what I did not do was I didn't go back and read those comments myself. And I should have done that. I should have opened it during the meeting. I was walking around focused on other things. So I could have done better to acknowledge the comments and understand where they were coming from. But this has been nothing but a wonderful experience. I've actually been invited to be part of a retreat here where we're going to be teaching writers, and we're planning that. Lisa, I hope to be able to invite you to that, and maybe even as a facilitator. So we're doing more business here, making relationships, and it's just been a wonderful experience all the way around. So if I expressed anything that sounded like I'm talking about not feeling welcomed, oh no, no, that's not the message at all. Thank you guys so much for the feedback. I appreciate it. Sorry, my voice is going, as you can tell, but I appreciate the feedback. Any that I get, I apply it to just doing my absolute best.
Thank you for that, Denise. And Kathy Ann said, well, that's good to hear. Thanks for clarifying because I'll go to the ends of the earth for my people. Leah Garcia says, fantastic to recognize your growth, Denise. Keep moving and keep growing. Lisa said, the other message I got from Denise is that a lot of times we focus on the 5% negative instead of the 95% positive. We should definitely learn from the negative experience, but not stay in that space. And Conchita says, great comment, Kathy Ann. I think I missed somebody. Let me check really quickly. Oh, Valerie says it's all about growth, Denise. And Conchita says another share that has added value, Denise. Pivot and stand firm. Great takeaway from today. So awesome comments by all. Kathy Ann, thanks for sharing what you were feeling. So Denise had an opportunity to provide the clarity. And that's communication. In communication, there's 2 people at all times. One is giving a message, the other is receiving a message, and they don't always connect. And if you walk away with an assumption and you never share what you've received, there's no opportunity for that communication to get, for the 2 folks to get on the same page. So to me, that whole exchange was a beautiful display of communication and what can happen in community when 2 people show up and say, hey, this is what I have to say. And the other one says, this is what I heard. And they say, oh, but this is what I meant. message received. Clarity was given, no misunderstanding. We move forward. Imagine how beautiful our lives would be and our relationships would be if that's how we interacted with one another, especially those that are close to us. We walk around with so many assumptions and so many hurt feelings, and the person who poked you didn't even have any idea that you've been poked. So I appreciate the exchange from both of you ladies, and I take it and share it as a wonderful example of everybody that's here. I think this is still Kathy Ann says, keep inspiring others, Denise. Have a blessed day. And Denise said, thanks for the great feedback. I always feel supported in this community. I grow every day. So thank you all for your comments. Brian, it is over to you. What would you like to share on Master Your Day with Intentionality?
Well, this being Wake Up Wednesday and obviously Denise Day, I don't really have much to say. I kind of feel like you felt, was that yesterday or Monday in Eric's room when it was your day and Leah came in and said, well, I don't really know much to say because this is Cassandra's realm. I feel like
Oh, that was Monday.
I feel like that today. This is Denise's realm, and I don't really have much to say. She dropped so much in what she said, but one thing that she said stood out to me, and it was not to focus on the bad, but focus on the good, right? If 2% is not what you want it to be, you can work toward getting that additional 2%, but focus on the good that came from that 98, right? Don't let that small percentage dull your ambition, dull your creativity, dull your motivation, right? You gotta keep going. I took that from her, and the reason it stood out to me is because we get lost sometimes. It happens to all of us. We have to wake up and realize that we're not perfect. I was talking to one of my proteges yesterday, and they are thinking about going into advertising. And we talked, and we had a lunch and had a pretty good conversation. It was fun seeing their growth, but they made a statement about being perfect. I
Mm.
don't start till I get it right. I don't want to do this. I said, man, have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and seen how many imperfections you have? Like I do it all the time, and I laugh at myself. I be like, man, your eyes a little funny over there, buddy, or your nose looks a little weird. You have to do that to keep yourself going. Everybody's got dozens of imperfections. Everybody's got dozens of missteps, right? We do it all the time. Wake up and realize that that's part of the journey. That's all part of you. It's nothing you should feel bad about. It's nothing you should focus on. Focus on the part that you want. You talk about focusing on your strengths all the time. And I think that's one of those hidden gems nobody ever talks about. We were always taught to focus on the things that are not doing well. But let me tell you a secret. If you focus on the things that are doing well, 9 times out of 10, they strengthen the parts of you that aren't doing so well. So thanks, Denise. You really dropped something this morning. I can't do much else, Cassandra. She took over.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I have one correction. That last comment was actually from Salone. Salone, it is so good to know that you are here. She was the one, Denise, who said, keep inspiring others, Denise. Have a blessed day. Um, and then Leah said, that's why we love the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Denise is laughing at Brian saying Denise Day. And Salone says, I'm not sure why it doesn't show my name, but this is my first comment. Again, it's me. Valerie is laughing. And dear Jackie said, so glad I could make it today. Miss your events, but usually daytime doesn't work for me. Happy Juneteenth. Thank you so much, Jackie. I see you and all of the things that you do in your space, you and Damien and others that you collaborate with, and you and your consistency. So appreciate. I know how busy you are, and I certainly appreciate that that you took time to share with us today. as well. I also noticed some other folks had joined. Run Deep, I think that is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Free Money, Sunny, and Around the Way, girl. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you guys were able to be with us. And we are moving to the wrap up portion of our time. And this is where we move from the what to the how, where we spend just a few minutes talking about some actionable steps that you can take to take the things that we've talked about today and apply them to your life. So, how do you move from amateur to master in your mindset and your approach? How do you master your day with intentionality? Start with having an intention. What do you intend to do with your day? You want to be very, very clear about that before you step out, plug in, however it is that you begin your day. Before you begin it, set your intention for that day. That way all the activities that follow are accumulating to move you someplace. That you're not just doing this thing and that thing because it happened to crop up, but when you're intentional, you can make good decisions. You can stand firm in your yes, and you can be very comfortable with your no's, because either they align with what you're trying to accomplish or they don't. So set daily intentions so that you have the clarity that you need to make good decisions with your resources, your focus, your time, your energy. It should be going towards the things that you are trying to accomplish. And those daily intentions give you the focus to do that, to have that alignment. Implement the 1% rule. I talk about small, consistent steps all the time. This is just a different way to say that. With the 1% rule, you're just trying to get 1% better today than you were yesterday. It's a competition of me versus me. I am trying every day to become a better version of myself. I'm not trying to outdo Denise. I'm not trying to outshine Brian. I don't want to make sure that I only say the comments of people who are super positive because I need to show up in a particular way to feel good about myself. No, just 1% better. And so we're not talking about that home run, hitting it out the park every single time. A lot of times, if we don't do that, we don't appreciate what we have progressed and what we've accomplished. So if you have that 1% rule in mind, if I can just be a little better today than I was yesterday in my speech, in my energy, in how I show up, in how I do my job, you get to pick the focus area. And then you want to get just a little bit better every single day, right? And that compound effect is what's going to happen over time. You're getting consistently better, consistently stronger, consistently more positive. You're being consistent, and those things will move you forward faster than anything will. And not only will you get there, but you'll get there and be prepared for what's waiting for you when you arrive. You'll have the right mindset. You'll have the strength. You'll have the skills. You'll have whatever it is that you need to master where you arrive as you're knocking all these tasks out and getting close to your goals. You don't have to worry whether or not you can handle it. Of course you can, because you've been building up that fortitude every day, getting a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit more resilient. So that 1% club is where it's at. Home runs are great, but they're a big deal because they don't happen that often. So if that's what you're waiting on to feel good, you're missing a lot of opportunity to celebrate you and to be joyful and to see your progress. Those base hits are just as important, right? So implement that 1% rule and celebrate those milestones along the way. Develop a consistent practice schedule. We were just talking about baseball. If you're a part of a team, practices at the same time every week for forever until the team disbands. This is when we practice. This is when we play. Our internal work can be just that, regimented as well. And if you're consistent about it and you have a practice schedule, so what is it that I'm working on? I'm going to write this book. Okay, so every day for 30 minutes, I'm going to go in my office from 6 to 6:30 p.m. and I'm going to just write. Consistency. You have that schedule down. You have that devoted time. You're intentional about it. It may take you a while, but you're going to get there. So develop a consistent practice schedule. Use visualization techniques. I want you to be able to see yourself winning, be able to see yourself accomplishing your goals, be able to see yourself having the things that your heart desires. Can you see it? If you can see it, you can have it, but you got to see it, because in seeing it, you're building up your ability to believe in it, that it's yours in the first place. So see it, lean into visualization. We have a vision board party coming up this weekend. Join us Saturday at 2 p.m. It's virtual. All you have to do is log into a Zoom, and we work on those goals, and then you create that visual that you can take with you and keep near you all the time to reinforce what your dreams are. But you have to be able to see it. Can you smell the ocean? Can you feel the sand beneath your feet? Do you feel the wind on your face? Can you hear the seagulls? That's a visualization. You've gotten all your senses involved, and you can almost, it's like you're there. Even though I'm sitting in my office, I can take myself to the beach anytime. And because that was an important part of my life, my husband's a beach bum, grew up in a coastal city. So we got a place there eventually. So we can go to the beach whenever we want. But it started with a dream. It started with that desire, seeing ourselves there. And then when you have a good visual, your body can't help but to start walking towards it. So allow yourself to dream and see yourself be successful. Stay curious and open minded. Denise touched on it a little bit earlier when she talked about being a lifelong learner. I am a lifelong learner. I will never know as much as there is to know, which means there's always something that I can learn. And that's exciting. I can learn new techniques to share with you guys. I can learn new ways to regulate myself. I can learn parenting skills and share them with my kids who are now parents, and help them with their journey with the grandkids. There's always something to learn, and it's exciting. And it keeps the brain moving and processing, and being open-minded means that there could be another way than the way that you're accustomed to, right? When you're open minded, even if you're really good at something and you've been doing it for a long time, you get into the rut of the status quo and you just do it the way that you've always done it. What if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, did you know that there's this new way?" And they want to share that with you. What do you know? I've been doing this and mastered this a long time ago. And you're not even open to the possibilities. Maybe you could become more efficient, get it done more accurately if you just listen to that young person that just finished school and have learned some new techniques that weren't even around when you mastered your craft. They could make you better. I love bringing new people into our company. I affirm them and tell them their place out of the gate, day one. You're going to see things that we can't see because you're bringing in new ways of doing things. And although you look at us and say we're the ones that are going to be training you, that's true. So respect the space that you're coming into and that you are working with professionals. But we respect you also because you're going to bring in new, fresh ideas. And when you put those two together, that's where the magic happens. So stay curious and open minded. And even the things that you are the best at, there may be ways that you can improve. And then you have to track the progress. That's where our resilience comes from. That's where our self confidence comes from. That's where we stay encouraged and know that we're going to get there. Tracking our progress gives us those mini celebration moments where we can say, I may not be there yet, but I'm not where I was. I've come so far. So there's nothing to discourage me. I know I'm going to get there. I just have to stay the course. So those were the 6 steps I wanted to share with you guys today. Set daily intentions, implement the 1% rule, develop a consistent practice schedule, use visualization techniques, and stay curious and open-minded. Because in doing so, you become the master. Because the difference between an amateur and a master is in their mindset and in their approach. I can't believe this many comments have come in. So I'm excited to hear, and so many new names. So let's see what everyone has to say. And then we will close out today. Oh, Denise shared the comment, the actions. Thank you so much for doing that. I see those purple hearts, Jackie, right back to you. Um, from amateur to master, have an intention. What do you intend to do today? So that's Denise reminding you guys of the whole summarizing what we were talking about today. Latoya, glad to see you here. I'm used to seeing you on Mondays, so it's a treat when I get you another day. She says, this is great to hear and to learn action steps to move correctly. I write down tasks, set alarms, and also meditate for a positive motion before just moving. That's gold. That's gold, Latoya. She says, to this is great to hear, plus to learn action steps to move correctly. I write down tasks, I set alarms, giving herself some I think when you set alarms, you get two things. You get a reminder. You can set alarms to remind you to go, and you can also set alarms to remind you to stop, so you get those mental breaks in between. And I meditate for a positive motion before just moving. That's intentionality at its best, giving herself that space to get mentally prepared to not only take the step, but to take the right step and to do it with the right mindset and the right attitude. Fantastic. Let's see. Number two, implement the 1% rule, take small, consistent steps. Lisa says, somehow Brian always says he doesn't have much to add, then drops those golden nuggets on us. I'm glad you picked that up, Lisa. Doesn't he do it every time? And then Leah says, I flub things up every day. That is why at the end of the day, I write down 3 things that I did well in that day. I love that. Keep that positivity at the forefront of your mind. Valerie said, amen. Consistency is key. Denise continued and said, number 3, develop a consistent practice schedule. And Mina said, oh, it's going off? Question mark. And I think you were responding to me saying that we were wrapping up. We were just moving to that final segment, Mina, where we go over the actionable steps. So, oh, good. I was just about to say, I hope you stayed around, but I see more comments. So I'm so glad that you are here. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. We're here every Tuesday through Friday at 7:15 a.m. Central. So continue to join us. Denise added number 4, use visualization techniques. See yourself winning. Mina says, I needed to hear this. Yes, let's visualize from our own inner desires and manifest. Absolutely. And Denise added number 5, stay curious and open-minded, be a lifelong learner. Bryant's View says, this is amazing. Thank you. I think this is my first time seeing you here as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell a friend and come back and see us tomorrow also. Tomorrow is already Thursday. And on Thursdays, we talk about gratitude and how using gratitude and staying in a place of gratitude moves you towards your goals as well and keeps you encouraged and positive. Mina says, yes, as a lifelong learner means humility and being humble too. Love that. I'm so glad that you picked that up, Mina. That is right on point. And Mina also says, yes, being open to new ways of doing something you've mastered. It's important. And then Denise added number 6, track your progress. Valerie says, thanks for sharing those steps. You are absolutely welcome. And Leah says, absolutely. I focus on getting 1% better every day. And every 100 days, I'm 100% better. Y'all better let that math. If you are 1% better than you were the day before for 100 days, you can celebrate every 100 days being 100% better than you when you started. The math is mathing in our favor if we take those small increments consistently over time. We win. We win. Tiffany says, I'm about to create a vision board on my phone. And Tiffany, we have a vision board event coming up on Saturday. The URL that's scrolling at the bottom, findyourvision.today, is the link to register. It would be amazing to have you join us. Salone, yes, I can see your name now. I'm so happy to see you. Salone was a part of our first vision board event this year, and it was amazing. So I hope you are still working that board and allowing it to keep you encouraged and moving towards your goals, Salone. And we want to see you back. We miss your presence. Mina says, "Oh, I'll definitely be in the building. This is my lifestyle. I don't play it about this." Welcome, Mina. I love it. Lisa says, "Love these action steps." Lisa, I was up a little bit late last night because last week was a crazy week. So I was uploading the action steps from the previous two sessions. So those of you that are in the collective, you'll get the action steps, nicely documented on a little infographic, and I'll upload those to you guys daily. So I've almost caught up and got you the ones that I hadn't uploaded yet. And before today is up, we'll get today's up there as well. So you guys in the collective can just go under, you'll see it as a post, or you can just go under files and you'll start to see all the action steps from the different days shared there for you guys in our collective group. Salone says, "Amen." Mina says, "I don't play about this." And Salone also says, "Yes, it was." And I think that's referring to the great time we had at the vision board party. Valerie says, "I have to go for my doctor's appointment, Cassandra. Great talk. Have a great day." Blessings, Valerie. Hope all is well at your appointment. And I'm going to go look up the link that you asked for and get that information to you this morning. Let's see. Who else do I need? Morris Carter, the bookman. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to see you here, my friend. Let's see. Rita King, my sister in Christ. So happy to see you. Kimberly Marullo. Hey, how are you? I just talked to Frank the other day. He was filling me in on all the news in your growing family. So sending you hugs and love and light. Happy to see you here. I think it's the first time. I'll be seeing Frank shortly, so I'm going to tell him I got to hang out with you for a little bit. Let's see. Did I get everybody else? I think we've done it, guys. Let me check one other place. Chris Don't Play and Team Miles. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you guys here as well. We've done what we've come to do, guys. Oh, Dr. Robin Lemon. I would love to see the vision board information. I would also love the action steps. Dr. Robin, if you go to findyourvision.today, the vision board information is there, all the details about the event. It's going to be this Saturday, a virtual event. I'll actually be traveling that day, and I'll be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I do a keynote address at 10:30 that morning, and then I'm going to hightail it to my mom's house to set up, and we'll do the event virtually from there. And so I'll have some family in the room with me doing their boards as I talk the virtual participants first through a goal setting workshop. And then after we complete and you guys are clear on the goals that you have for yourself, then we'll move into the creative space where you can create your vision board and have that as a visual reminder of what you are working towards. So it has been a wonderful day. We get what we need when we need it, guys. And the level of engagement that we've had today, all the consistency in so many of you that I can count on day in and day out, all the new faces who didn't just show up and look, but you also dropped a comment or some sort of engagement. I could not be more grateful for all of it. The comments are still coming in. I'm trying to keep up. Mina says, "Be good to yourself and be good to each other." See y'all later. See you later, Mina. And thank you so much for the beautiful energy that you brought. You are welcome, Dr. Robin. All right. I am going to close our time today. I look forward to seeing you guys back here tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. Central, where we will talk about gratitude on Thankful Thursday. And remember, the theme for the week is mastery. So we're going to talk about how gratitude can help you master you and the goals and the life that you intend to create for yourself. So join us back here. Don't forget about the vision board party. Findyourvision.today. All the details are there. I look forward to seeing you guys all on Saturday as we work to make your visions become your reality. It is yours to have. Go get it. See you guys soon.